Top Story. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the developments and growth happening in the Sault Ste. Marie's economy. We have Dan Hollingsworth, the Executive Director of the Sault Ste. Marie Economic Development Corporation, in to talk a little bit about the different things that have happened over the last year, where there's growth, where's a little bit stagnant, and what we can look forward to in the future. Dan, thanks for joining us in the studio.
Hi, Riley.
Today.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for finally getting me on the show.
Oh, no problem. I know we've been trying for a while.
I know.
But we finally succeeded in getting you
Organizing
in here.
calendar is always
Yes.
a challenge.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I know. And so especially lately has been busy. You guys have had a lot going on.
Yeah, maybe just to give you a little bit of background on the
Yeah.
Economic Development Corporation and what we're doing. Obviously, the Economic Development Corporation helps local businesses with establishing or growing. We have Millwork Centre for Entrepreneurship, which is located at 83 Huron Street in the machine shop. Provide a variety of services to help new businesses get up and running. We also have our business growth services where we work with existing companies in the community and in certain sectors as well to help those companies grow and find new markets for their products. As well, we have our investment attraction services. We've been working aggressively over the last couple of years on developing an investment attraction strategy. And finally, and probably importantly as well, is our tourism piece.
Right.
And we'll get into some of those details throughout the interview.
So tourism Sault Ste. Marie is a branch of the Economic Development
The
Corporation?
Tourism Sault Ste. Marie is a
works?
division of the Economic Development Corporation.
Okay.
So the Economic Development Corporation is broken down into two divisions, which is our business development side and our tourism side.
Okay. So because tourism was it was a hot topic throughout this past municipal election period.
It's always a hot topic.
Yeah, it's always kind of a hot topic, right? So where have we seen something that really stood out to me? I was looking through the midterm review,
Right.
and there was talk of money being brought in through, I don't have the amount in front of me, but from cruise ship attraction
Right.
efforts. And this, like I told you before we started rolling, maybe I'm ignorant to this, but I didn't even know that this was a major market that we're tapping into. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, a huge market that is growing is the Great Lakes cruising industry, and we at the Economic Development Corporation do spend a lot of time and resource in attracting cruise ships to the market. Basically, we plan out a couple years in advance, so we're planning out right now for the 2020 season. This past year, we had 26 ships call on both communities in Sault, Ontario and Sault, Michigan. We work with our partners in Sault, Michigan. And that brings a variety of different visitors from not only national markets, but international markets to our community. And the variety, the time that those ships stay in our community can be anywhere from 4 to 5 hours, right up to a 10, 12 hour stay in the community. So yeah, then they come into the community, they do a variety of activities. There's lots of programming that happens with respect to other attractions in the community. So the cruise ships, some of the visitors would go to see the Ermitage or Old Stone House,
Right, the
Canadian
entertainment
Bush.
that we have
yeah,
here.
exactly. Or they participate in some of the other local attractions around town. So it's a really great opportunity to expose our community to a wider audience.
And then maybe they'll come back. Now, how long has this been something that we've been tapping into as a community?
The cruise ship's been the last few years,
Okay.
and it continues to be a growing market. We're in discussion right now with a couple of new ships coming into the market. We're working closely with our city partners to look at providing better services for the visitors once they get here. So we're really excited about it. It's something that I think is a real great opportunity.
And it's primarily in the summer?
Primarily in summer and right through until the fall season.
And then that can go in conjunction with the Agawa train, I imagine, too.
Absolutely. We're trying to work with the cruise ship so that we can have visitors come in earlier in the day, jump on the train for the day during the summer months, and take a ride up the Agawa Canyon Tour train up to the canyon and have a visitor experience, and then come back down to the Sault.
Definitely a site worth seeing. So tourism then, would you say that sector is really thriving in the Sault? Would you say that there's kind of an upward growth in tourism and tourism dollars, or?
We've seen a steady, the tourism industry is fairly steady and it's growing. We're seeing a lot more international travel to the Sault. The Agawa Canyon Tour train, we're one of the few communities, I think, in Ontario or Northern Ontario for that fact, that has a real signature attraction like the tour train.
Very unique.
Brings on average probably about 30 to 32,000 visitors a year to the community. And the visitors mostly stay a night or two to take the experience of the train in. So it's a really great asset and lots of spin-offs on the economic impact of the tour
Absolutely.
train.
Are there other sectors that we're seeing a great growth in? Because I saw that there's been a lot of job creation in this last year in terms of helping small businesses get started up, and then they're opening their own businesses. So What kind of sectors are we seeing growth in?
So our Millwork Center for Entrepreneurship, we really do a lot of Main Street type businesses, a lot of service-based businesses.
Right.
So a lot of the clients that we do see there are small micro enterprises just getting started. So whether it's somebody just out of school that has a great idea, or if it's a company that wants to get established and expand. So it's a variety of different sectors, so I can't say millworks were specific to
Right.
any one area. But we do have a concentration in our shop right now looking at the smart energy sector, advanced manufacturing,
More innovative.
ICT, digital type applications. And we're pursuing quite a few opportunities in that area, building on the capacity that we have in the community. Sault Ste. Marie is quite fortunate having the renewable energy resource that we have here, and a lot of innovative companies have established here because of that.
And we're definitely in like a strategic spot in terms of where we are located in the province, but also being on the border, right?
Absolutely, Riley. Good
definitely,
point.
yeah.
I think logistically, I think Sault Ste. Marie is one of the best connected communities in Northern Ontario, and we use that as a sell. I know we talked earlier about Noront, and I think that's one of the big selling points for us is having the marine connectivity, the rail connectivity, the road connectivity that enables those opportunities to happen in our community.
So you mentioned Noront, and I know that Noront is supposed to make a decision on whether they'll be settling here or in Timmins.
Correct.
Do you have any update, or even just kind of a summary of where the negotiations are at, or where the process is at this point in time?
So we've been working with Noront for the past couple of years. We went through a process whereby communities across Northern Ontario were invited to basically compete on providing your best business case for your community. Right. Was narrowed down over the course of the early summer between us and Timmins. We're continuing to talk to Noront. They haven't landed on a date yet for their decision on whether it'll be Community A or Community B.
Right.
But I think we've put together a very compelling business case to the management group at Noront. I think they're quite pleased with what we have to offer here. So I think those negotiations are going to continue to go on over the next couple of months before they make a firm decision.
So we can stay tuned
Stay
for that.
tuned. I think we got something exciting there.
It's good to hear that we're still in the running for that. I mean,
Absolutely.
It's come down to the wire, right, with the two Northern Ontario communities. Now, we've talked about some of the sectors that are doing really well. Where can the Soo make improvements in our local economy? What sectors are maybe not suffering, but kind of sitting stagnant or going through a rough patch?
To say that there's a sector that's really having a challenging time, I think we're very fortunate to be in Sault Ste. Marie and being at the, as I mentioned, the transportation infrastructure, the connectivity to global marketplace. I think what I'd really like to see over the next couple of years that we want to do at the Economic Development Corporation is really work at developing more companies. We need more small entrepreneurs with innovative ideas in a variety of different sectors that can compete internationally in international markets. There's a lot of great ideas. It's just how do we foster those ideas? Events that we do, such as our Bridges to Better Business, really help to foster the atmosphere for entrepreneurship.
Right.
And our event over the last couple of years has grown. I think we've seen this year we had a young entrepreneur win the competition, and hats off to all the entrepreneurs that threw their hat into the ring for that competition, because I think it's great to see. I think that's what we need to continue our focus on, is really building the environment and if I can call it the ecosystem for entrepreneurship in the community.
I think that's something I've heard too. I don't know if Maker North has done a lot of work with you guys, or if you're familiar.
We have been working with Maker North.
So it's funny because what you're saying kind of echoed a lot of when I talked to them when they first opened was, that they kind of want to compete on the internet, but they're small. They've started by 3 local people, and the service that they're offering is very unique, like the 3D printing and having a workspace where you can, work with all this new technology, but also integrating older technology into it too, like your classic woodworking and all of that. So I think it's really interesting that you said that.
Well,
because
I even think on that front, we just came back from a show in Chicago back in September, the International Manufacturing Technology Show, and the integration of existing companies that can use rapid prototyping for advancing projects. And I think Maker North is on the cusp of that. So it's really great to see that happening in our community. For
sure. And for their goal, I mean, they want to be able to export this stuff to other places, and that would make the Soo a hub for those things. So I think that's really great. Now,
is it the tough questions coming?
No, I only have one more question for you, and it's a pretty easy one. Searchmont,
Searchmont, we're really excited.
Yeah, so we covered that event, but when the gentleman from Wisconsin. But from the Economic Development Corporation standpoint, can you tell us a little bit about what that process has been like now, selling offer and what it means for our community.
Well, I think this is a great opportunity for the community. We've, over the last 4 years, it was always our intention to stabilize the asset, make necessary investments that we did. We undertook as a result of our ability to access some of the government financing that we did and private sector support. We did get the resort ready for sale over the last year. And through the process, we were able to attract Wisconsin Resorts Inc. Quite excited to be working with them. Great group of individuals. They operate 4 of the resorts in southern Michigan as well as Wisconsin. So I think the benefit for our local tourism community is that we'll be able to tap into their market as well.
Right.
And do some cross-promotion between their resorts and the resort here. I think this will be the biggest asset in their mix as far as the ski hill.
For sure.
So I think it offers their customers another unique asset to come visit and experience. We're going to continue to work with Wisconsin Resorts on looking at additional tourism support as far as helping them with some of their advertising and marketing, which we've done over the last few years.
Getting to know the community.
Getting to know the community, as well as looking at what improvements they want to make over the next few years. There's going to be some considerable capital upgrades. I think the community will be really excited to see what,
That's awesome.
What Wisconsin Resorts wants to do over the next couple of years.
Well, it sounds like nothing but good things coming in the next that we can expect within the next year. And thank you so much for coming in and sharing this update with us.
Thanks we could finally connect.
I know. I know we covered a kind of a range of topics, but there was a few things. And thank you so much for your time.
Well, I look forward to coming back.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And we can expect the final report for the year.
Probably
in March.
It's in March timeframe. So basically, the interim report that we put together was up until the end of the summer. We test that information over the end of the year and then put a report together for the new year.
Perfect. So we can hear back from you in March about where we're at and what we can look forward to.
Be happy to come here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thanks.
And we will be back with more Top Story. We have Al Arrington coming in. He owns Arrington's Wilderness Resort. Talk a little bit about the economic impacts of the Algoma passenger train no longer running. So stay tuned for that. We'll be right back.